Good afternoon. Today I'm going to talk about the reasons you're doing things. And this is something that I was actually recently praying on. And I kind of heard that little voice talk to me and I was praying about more abundance in my life. Praying for some abundance and asking why abundance was missing me in certain areas. And sorry about that. There's an alarm out there. Hopefully it doesn't last too long. Um So I was wondering why abundance was missing me in certain areas of my life. And so I decided to pray about it. And I actually got a cool tip recently because for a long time I had basically just been, and I've known this, but it's good to be reminded, but I had been basically praying just essentially just praying and asking and not really listening in return to what was coming back from the prayers. And that's easy to do. Um, it's even easy to kind of think people who listen for something in response to prayers are kind of crazy. And of course, I don't think we can all go around and listening to the voice of God. And, I think we can even mistake some things we hear for a divine presence or for the voice of the universe or that kind of thing. And we can make dumb choices, but that's not really what I'm talking about here. And so lately, I've been trying to stop for a second and put my ears out, put my heart out, um, put my critical thinking mind out when I pray for something and actually listen for a response and see what kind of answers I get. And so I was praying for more abundance in certain parts of my life. And all of a sudden I kind of heard that little voice and it basically said, "What are the reasons you're doing some things? What are your reasons?" Maybe the reason that you're not finding certain abundance is because your reasons aren't that good. And it's that kind of struck me. It was quick. I mean, it was right in the second that I was praying about abundance, and that came to me. I was surprised, and I was a little relieved to actually have some kind of answer there. Excited and happy, and so I started thinking about this idea of reasons. Reasons, having good reasons will inspire you to do things. It'll inspire you to work harder. It'll motivate you. So you really got to check with your reasons. There's a famous Nietzsche quote that always gets brought up kind of on this topic, and I think it's something to the effect of somebody who has a reason why can bear almost any how. And so reasons can be a real inspirational and motivational factor to keep you going through tough times, through tough circumstances, working harder and strengthening yourself for whatever comes. If your reason is strong enough, you will keep moving forward. But also, I think reasons can deceive us. If you're just, I don't know, for an example, if you're just doing something to garner attention or fame or build yourself up, then your reasons are kind of lacking. They're selfish and they're a little weak, and they may not inspire other people to take part in your movement. And so, if you want to have a movement that moves other people, you may need to find better reasons than just getting yourself out there or becoming bigger yourself. Um, I don't know, if you make YouTube videos, what are your reasons? Is it just to be famous? Is it just to feel important? Is it just to boost your own ego? Or is it to actually give a message out that people can relate to and can find themselves in and can find importance in for themselves, can grow from themselves? Because that's a better reason than just doing it for yourself and just doing it to feel important yourself. And so when you're doing things, whatever it is you're doing, it's not a bad idea to check in with your reasons. What are your reasons? What are your reasons? Are they inspiring to you? Are they inspiring to others? Are they just important to you? Are they important to others? Are they going to just help you? Or are they going to help the people around you and your community? And that would be, if you can find reasons that help the people around you, you can start to kind of find win-win situations. And a win-win helps multiple people grow. And if you help multiple people grow, then more people are going to want to help you in return. Because the more that you give out, the more that you're going to get back. And that's almost just a law of nature and a law of the universe. What you put out, what you give out is going to come back. And so if your reasons are just selfish, well, then you're probably only going to get a little bit back in return because your reasons are too selfish for doing something. So it doesn't hurt to check in with your reasons. What are the reasons that you're doing something? Are your reasons good for many people, or are they just good for you? Are your reasons selfish, or are they true and honest? What are the reasons that you're doing something? And yeah, I don't know. That I was actually thinking about a message today, and that seemed to be the most important thing that kind of popped in my head recently. And I felt like I wanted to share it. I felt like it might help somebody else kind of consider the reasons that they're doing something. What are the reasons you're doing something? You know, why? Why? And if you want to understand how to check your reasons, just ask yourself why. You know, play Socrates with yourself. I'm recording a video today. Why? Well, I'd like to grow my YouTube channel. Okay, that's kind of a selfish reason. Well, I'd also like to get some messages out there. I have some ideas that I'd like to put out there in the world. Okay, that's a little less selfish. Why do you want to get your messages out there? Well, I think people could learn from them. I think it could help people grow and expand themselves. And maybe it'll help somebody understand their own life better. Okay, that's a better reason. That's a better reasoning. And so kind of following what you're doing, pushing into what you're doing and asking why questions will help you understand the underlying beliefs or reasons of why you're doing something. You know, so play Socrates with yourself. And honestly, it's not a bad idea to do that with a lot of things. You know, I feel sad today. Why do I feel sad today? Oh, things haven't gone my way recently, and I've had a streak of bad luck. And okay, why do you think you've had a streak of bad luck? Well, I haven't really been doing much for anybody else, and I've kind of been selfish lately, and I haven't been working very hard. And okay, why have you been doing that? Well, I haven't really been taking care of myself, and I haven't been feeling good. And this is just like an example, right? But when you start to question why on your actions, you start to reveal the underlying beliefs that hang out underneath of actions, good and bad. So questioning specifically why, the why question, will help you to reveal your underlying reasoning, your belief systems for why you do things. I mean, it's right there in the description. Your belief systems for why you do things. Questioning with the why question will help your conscious mind uncover those subconscious reasons that underlie your belief systems and your actions, right? You're willing up things through your actions. Hey, leave them alone. So you're said no. So your why questioning will help you reveal your belief system and why you're doing things. And that'll help you understand yourself better. It'll give you a better idea of your motivations, of your reasoning, of your belief structure, of the unconscious parts of your actions. What unconscious structures lie under the reasons I do my actions? Because pretty much every action, now some action is just totally just response. It's just reaction to the world around you. But a lot of actions that you do are built on previous learned conditioned behavior that hides out in your subconscious. You don't even see it. You're not conscious of it. It's just a response that you've learned from previous contingencies that have played out in your life. And then you've built a belief structure on top of it. And by digging down with those why questions, you can get down to the bottom of why you're doing these things and find your reasons. And then once you find your reasons, you can start to assess, are these good reasons? Are these good reasons for what I'm doing? Are they selfish reasons? Are they reasons that are oriented towards my community? Are they reasons that will help me grow as a person so that I can give more back to the people around me because I will be a more expanded and a more resourceful individual? Or are they reasons that stem out of fear because I'm afraid that I might fail, or I'm afraid that I might not be seen as important enough, or I'm afraid that it could hurt if I do it, if I be courageous, if I stick myself and my neck out there, I could end up getting hurt. And that's the reason I don't do this thing that I always wanted to do, because I'm afraid that if I do it, it could hurt. And see, when you start to question those why questions about why you behave in certain ways, you'll start to uncover all of these reasons that are buried, that were conditioned in you from previous contingencies in your life, things that happened to you when you tried something. I stuck myself out there. Why are you afraid to do this? Well, I stuck myself out there and tried it one time before and I failed. Well, you only tried it once. Maybe you need to try again. Practice makes perfect. Yeah, but if I do it again and I get hurt again, then I'm going to be even more afraid of it. Okay, so your reason for avoiding this thing you want to try is you're afraid because you got hurt one time before when you tried it. And you're afraid that next time you might fail again and you might get hurt again. And see, when you question down with the why question reveals beliefs. Your beliefs are based on reasons. And those reasons have been coded into your subconscious from previous experiences that you've had. And you have to dig those things out and examine them and ask yourself, are they helping me or are they hurting me? Are they selfish or are they community oriented? Are they going to grow me and expand me, or are they going to shrink me and make me smaller? Enjoying a cup of coffee. I love coffee. I'm a coffee drinker. I can't help it. I hope you have a good afternoon. I hope you enjoyed this. Hopefully, it helps you ask a few why questions about why you do the things you do, and maybe expand yourself just a little bit. Maybe help you understand yourself just a little bit more anyway, and uncover some of those unconscious reasons that are buried from previous experiences that you've had. And you know what? You could even try it with a friend. If you got a friend, if you got a loved one who you're close with, who you feel comfortable with and safe with, you know, have them run down some of your actions with the why question. You know, just say to them, "Hey, I've been doing this thing lately and I'm wondering, this sounds weird, but can you just ask me why and let's uncover why?" Maybe you have a therapist. Maybe your therapist can ask you why you've been doing certain things. And then you can start to when you answer that, there's going to be some layers. The first answer is the first thing that comes to your conscious mind. Well, I do it for X, Y, and Z reason. Okay, well, why do you have that reasoning for why you do it? Well, if I dig a little deeper, I notice that this thing happened in my past. And so I've created these reasons and built this belief structure on top. And you'll go deeper and deeper. You keep chasing it with the why question. And eventually you're going to start to hit a little bit of bedrock in your subconscious and in your belief structure, to where you can start to see what are your internal motivations. Now, if there's a lion on the, if you're on the prairie and there's a lion on the prairie, you just got to run, right? That the reason that you're running is because the lion is dangerous and he can eat you. There's not a whole lot of bedrock underneath of that, right? It's just you're reacting to the world around you. And sometimes that's how actions are. But a lot of our actions are motivated by subconscious structures that have been built up by our reactions to the past. And you can start to examine whether they're helpful or whether they're harmful to you by digging them out with the why question and chasing them deeper and deeper with the why question to get to the roots. Using the why question to dig out your reasons. Again, I hope this was helpful. And my channel is starting to actually finally get a couple views here and there, so that's a relief. I was a little worried with my first couple videos because they didn't really get pushed too much by the algorithm. But I've done this YouTube channel thing a couple times, and so I've kind of seen how when you start out it's pretty slow, but then YouTube kind of starts to find people who match your algorithm to give your videos to. And so if you wound up here, I'm really happy you're here. I'm going to do videos probably semi-weekly, and I basically just talk about life and philosophy. And life philosophy, I'm, I can talk about philosophy and philosophers and blah blah blah, but that's not really what I'm in this for. I'm more in this for right now, examining our lives, examining my own life, helping you examine your life and question why. What are the reasons that I do what I do? What are some strategies that could help me live better, raise my quality of life just by changing my thinking a little bit? And so that's the type of thing I'll probably talk about here. If you're into that, stick around. And down in the comments, why don't you let me know, how do you drink your coffee? What are the reasons for why you drink your coffee like that? Um, why don't you let me know? Why don't you, you know what? And even instead of the comments, if I was going to send you home with any piece of advice, I would say, look at one thing in your life Take one action. Maybe it's an action you want to stop doing. Maybe it's an action you want to do more of, or maybe it's an action you want to get more out of, and question it with that why question. Start to uncover the beliefs that lie underneath of it. What are the reasons that you want that action to be happening less? What are the reasons that you want that action to happen more, or to get more out of it? And once you start to see the belief structures that are buried within your subconscious, revolving around that particular thing in your life, you can start to examine it. When you start to examine it, you can start to change it a little bit and maybe start to get more of the results out of it that you want, or push it out of your life a little more if it's something that you don't want. If that resonates with you at all, yeah, leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think. Let me know how you drink your coffee. I hope this helped. God bless.